All right, let's get started. Hi, everyone. This is Tom Malingo. I'm here with Susan Bryanton, my lovely wife and co-founder of Brandjectory, and our marketing manager and communication director, the fearless Jenna Kissel. She puts up with us all the time. And Jeff Church, the founder of Suja Juice and the founder of DreamMakers. And we're here today for the Brandjectory DreamMakers Pitch Slam, a brand battle of five of the brands that came from Jeff's Accelerator, DreamMakers. And I'll be turning it over to Jeff in just a moment to tell you a little bit about that before we get started. I'm going to just explain to everyone what's going to happen today and share a little bit about Brandjectory. So first, we're going to do some introductions here, and then we will introduce our investor panel judges, some great folks that we're going to be really thrilled to have here, and then we'll introduce our brands. And then we'll have the pitches. Each of the brands will have 7 minutes to pitch. We'll have about 10 minutes of the investors questioning those brands. And then afterwards, the judges get 2 or 3 minutes to score the brand. Jeff's gonna jump in and tell us a little bit about what he experienced with the founder and the brand during his accelerator. So you'll get to know these founders really, really well before the day is over. After that, all the brands pitch. We'll run a little poll to see who those in the audience thought gave the best pitch. And we'll thank a few more people and then we'll announce the winner. So we expect to be right on time with 2 hours today. But we're really looking forward to an exciting event. Before I turn it over to Jeff to tell us a little about DreamMakers, if you're joining us and don't know about Brandjectory, what we do, we provide education and engagement and exposure to brand founders under 10 million in sales in CPG, food, health, wellness, supplements, vitamins, any better for you category, elk, non-elk, pet. We have personal care, household, intimate care, all on Brandjectory. If it can be on the shelves at Whole Foods or Sprouts or any other specialty store, it can be at Brandjectory. And what we do is provide an excellent knowledge base of some 400 articles and videos that we've created that describe CPG, all from the perspective of what investors and those who are financing your business want to know. We do a little one-on-one consulting with you to help you bring the best of your brand forward for investors. And then we have a series of virtual meetings on a monthly basis that give all our founders the chance to interact and engage with industry experts and industry investors. Some of these are practice pitch sessions, one-on-one counseling sessions, problem-solving sessions as a group, founder investor networking, and a host of other classroom and lab sessions where brand founders can get their questions answered. So if you'd like to know more about Brandjectory, brands can raise their money on Brandjectory, but we take no equity, we take no piece of the pie, we take no finder's fee. We're a simple subscription service for brands who want to raise money, learn CPG, and sort of have a lifetime partner in the growth of their brand. That's what we're here to do. If you have any questions, reach out to me, Tom at brandjectory.com, Susan at brandjectory.com, or Jenna at brandjectory.com. And now, before we get into the pitch, I'm going to turn it over to Jeff and have him explain a little bit about, well, I think you know Jeff, of course, as the founder of Suja Juice, but a little bit about what he's doing with DreamMakers. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. And thanks again, Brandjectory, for this amazing event that you put on. And you put one on last month for us. So thank you for that. Just the quality, it's just amazing in what you're able to do and how you pull this together and what a benefit it is to groups to be able to put these pitch slams on. So thank you. And all the people that you've organized, Tom, and team have been, really second to none. The coaches. Again, they were fantastic in the last go around, and they're fantastic again. I mean, just such an added benefit to my accelerator that I didn't expect we'd be able to do. So thank you to the judges and thank you to the coaches for taking time out of your schedules. I know, it's always tough to do that, but this is also, it's a way for us to pay back a little bit, and I'm very appreciative for everything that you've done. And then to the brands. You guys have just been amazing, and I've worked with you now for 9 months or so, most of you through a boot camp and through the accelerator. And I wish that I had a deck that you had presented when we started 9 months ago versus what I know you're going to present today, because they're night and day different. And the improvement that I've seen in these brands over 9 months has been just really, really amazing. A little bit about myself. I'm a 8-time CEO, just a lot of years. So I'm 63 years on this planet, so I've had a lot of time to do that. But had 5 companies of those that have been home runs or doubles, and then 3 blazing strikeouts. But the one that I'm most affection to is Suja Juice, that we started in 2012 and built it to today. It's about a $350 million company. Along the way, I've made a lot of mistakes, and I have a lot of lessons learned. And I started to diagnose those a number of years ago, and a couple of years ago. And how can I reduce those number of errors and mistakes? And a lot of it is just experience of going through the cycle a couple of times. And I thought, well, maybe something for me to do in my career now, where I want to give back a bit more, is to really work with people to help them improve their odds of success and help them reduce those expensive mistakes that we all make on our own nickel, because they're very expensive on our own nickel. So I created a group called DreamMakers, and we run boot camps and accelerators for early and middle stage founders. And it's really a group created by founders for founders. So we've cut through a lot of the fluff and noise in what we do. And being that we all are founders, we kind of know what in general what you need. So I'm really excited about it. We've had 15 people go through the program last fall, and we'll have another 20 go through the program this fall. And it's great because we're able to do pitch slams for this. We're able to do a retailer pitch slam. We bring great speakers in, and really help people learn concepts that are kind of hard to learn at one sitting. So thanks again for everybody taking the time to be here and taking the time to listen to our groups. And thanks again, Tom, for all your work that your group does.
Thanks, Jeff and Jenna. If we can continue here. First off, our group of terrific CPG investors are joining us here. We did have coaches, and we'll thank those coaches who worked one-on-one with the brand founders. We'll thank those folks later. That's part of what we try to do at Brandjectory, is to really put brands directly in contact with some of the best CPG investors in the industry. And this is a great group of people. I'm going to introduce them here. When I call on them to start the questioning, I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves for 30 seconds. So we're going to start just by giving you their names. We have Daniel Faireman from Habitat Partners, Danny Beckett from Beckett Industries, Jamal Trotman, who is new to working with Brandjectory, but we've really been excited to meet him, from Radix Innovation Capital. Rajaa, Grar, who has done a presentation for us in the past from Springdale Ventures, and Gigi Chang, who also has spoken at some Brandjectory events in the past. So we are very excited to have them here. And with that, we are going to ask our first pitch person to step up to the plate. And Jenna, if you could go forward. I'm going to turn it over to Susan to introduce our first contestant, and we'll go from there.
All right. Welcome, everyone. The first founder to pitch today is Jonathan Sund of Spark Organics, organic, antioxidant-rich fruit chews. No concentrates, no corn syrup, only real fruit. Take it away, Jonathan.
All righty, hello,
Jonathan, there you are. Can you share your screen?
Yep, sharing right now. Can you all see me? So I'll share my screen.
And then next time you see my face, it'll be time to wrap up, okay?
All right, is it coming through for everyone?
You got it, Jonathan. Go ahead.
Okay, so hi, everybody. My name is Jonathan Soon. I'm the founder of Spark Organics. And Spark Organics, we are the better for you organic version of candy. So everybody should have received the samples, I guess, probably a couple weeks back at this point. I hope everybody enjoyed the product. And the uniqueness really behind our chews is that they're a clean label product and they're made with real fruit. So I'll get into the team here. So Spark Organics was started by me. I founded the company after growing, frustrated with traditional candies. Most of the ingredients didn't really add any value. They didn't taste very good. So I set out to see if I could start my own business, add flavor, subtract fluff, and create a better for you organic candy. My experience, I worked at Vital Proteins in the past. I work as a NetSuite consultant, so I have a lot of CPG experience. So I started like business with my friend and business partner, John Fitzgerald. And then we've added Jeff as advisor. Everybody knows Jeff, no need for introduction there. And I'm especially thankful to the program that we've been involved with over the last 9 months. I mean, we've come a long way since we started. And then I've also got a gentleman named Stephen Bauer, who's advisor for us as well. He's got 26 years CPG as a CPG executive. And most recently, he was a former VP at Haribo. So that's the team kind of behind the brand. Mostly I'm running the business day to day. And then we've got a good list of partners. Okay, so let's talk about candy. Why choose? What are we doing? So candy is here to stay. You know, some of the hottest trends in CPG are functional foods, but the candy market is growing and it's ripe for innovation, at least in my opinion. So we have 2025 candy business is valued at 14.4 billion. It's growing at 8.3% per year. So we're looking to get to 20 billion by 2027. And there's a whole lot of functional foods, but candy, I think, is really an opportunity to add flavor, add functionality to it. And that's what we're doing with Spark Organics. So our fruit chews are organic, clean label. So there's non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, corn syrup free. There's no dyes. They're made in the USA. We use upcycled fruit. In each one of our pouches, we have the equivalent of half a serving of fruit. So we're using real fruit in the product. So who is our customer? What are they, who is buying? What are they saying? And our customer is the better for you customer, the health conscious parent, the active millennial, wellness enthusiasts. We are trying to align the brand with the beliefs of our customers, which is sustainability, transparency, ethical sourcing, and providing a product for the whole family. Like I recently had a kid, and now I think a lot more about the products I buy than I had in the past, which was already a lot. And what are folks saying about our products? So our reviews here are pretty well aligned with the brand and the customer beliefs. Another added benefit to the product, I seem to get a lot of people saying that it doesn't rip out their dental work too. So that one is a recurring value. And how does our product compare to the other products and other fruit chews in the market? So getting involved with fruit chews, it's kind of interesting business. There's not a whole lot of fruit chew brands out there. Recently, our largest competitor actually stopped selling their chews. So now it's really Spark Organics, and then we have Yum Earth, which is the closest organic competitor, and then the traditional, large corporation chews, so Starburst, Mamba, High Chew. And if you look across the board, Spark Organics, we offer the best option from the clean label standpoint. Our price per ounce, our product is made, in the United States, gluten-free, vegan. Like I said, we're using real fruit, no corn syrup. So across the board, we're hitting all these better for you values that customers are looking for, that they're not going to get out of the traditional brands and not out of our closest competitors. So where are we at now? Currently, Spark Organics, we've been around for a couple of years. We have some partners that we're working with to grow sales and looking with this program to take the company to the next level. So we're available in the largest distributors, KE Unify, Cormark, McLean. We have a lot of stores across channels. So we're available through natural, organic, conventional, grocery. We're in the military channels as well. So we find our consumer across all the different channels. We're available across those channels, and we're selling and doing well. So what's the goal here? So sales growth is the goal. Now we've got an opportunity to produce stick packs, a smaller 2-ounce stick pack. We have a 48 count retail shipper that we're going to launch. We've got redesigned packaging and some additional larger club packs. The 2-ounce stick is going to be about a 50-cent cost, and it's going to MSRP for $1.99. In addition to that, we have a low sugar formula in development, as well as we're applying the same principles of the fruit chews to lollipops. So they'll have 100% vitamin C, organic fruit, and they'll be great for the kiddos. And then where we're headed. So along with those new SKUs, we have some new grocers that we're targeting. And this is like our 5-year sales projection. So here we're looking to ramp up over the next 5 years to, quite a large number. But I think it's completely doable with the right funding. We have a good product, the branding we dialed in, and that is where we're headed next. So, and what are we doing here? We're pitching. So we're looking for a $500,000 safe note to be used mostly for marketing, advertising, sales operations support, and inventory innovation. So we haven't really done it. We've never really had any advertising or marketing. A lot of it's just been what we could afford. And it's kind of limited our ability to grow. So we need to really get the product out there. And we have a high level of reorder rates. 80% of the people that order on our website will reorder. We have a lot of good customers, and our sales data shows that. So it's at this point now growing the brand awareness and expanding into additional retailers. There's also a lot of effort to maintain the paperwork and the promotion schedules and all that type of stuff. So we'll be using the money for that. And then we also have inventory and innovation that we're going to be putting some of the money towards as well. So that's our presentation. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the product. Happy to answer any questions.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan. You did great on time, and we appreciate that. But with that, I'm going to ask that we start the questioning with Gigi. If Gigi, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself a little bit as we get started, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I
Okay,
can hear you
great.
fine.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that presentation, Jonathan. And I'm Gigi. I'm a founder. I started my company 20 years ago, so I'm kind of circa with Jeff. It's been a long time in this industry, and I think we've sort of had multiple ventures, never together. So, but my brand was Plum Organics, and we, I scaled it. I exited about 12 years ago. I've done a couple of other things in the industry, including running a nonprofit. I launched a food system accelerator. I have been investing on the structured credit side for the last handful of years. And most recently, I just launched my growth coaching business for female founders and female startup leaders, both in CPG as well as other sectors. And then I continue to do angel investing, but primarily through funds, because as a founder myself, I kind of want to say yes to everybody. So I need to have a buffer between myself. So thank you for having me. So Tom, do you want me to just go ahead with my question?
Please do start with your questions, and then
Okay,
we'll move on to others.
great.
But you're the show right now.
Okay, thank you. I wasn't sure if you were doing broader intros, but so Jonathan, I think, first of all, I have to say, thank you for the product, the samples. It was a lot of samples, so I shared it with some friends, and I have to say that clearly there is an addictive quality, because one of my friends, brought it home and her husband loved it. And so then they're like, well, do you have more of that? How much more do you have of that? So, that obviously I'm sure is great to hear. I guess for me, my question is, did you start with this idea of the fruit chew first, or did you start with the idea of candy first? Just, because you say like you're a candy lover and snacker. And I guess really the question for that comes from, kind of market opportunity. And I'd love to just hear a little bit more about why you chose fruit chews as the first products, and if you have, ideas for a larger platform to grow into.
Yeah, so I did start with fruit chews mainly because at the time that I started the company, I was in the office I was working in. We were all massively addicted to Starburst, and it was just like everyone's popping them all day long, and that's kind of like where it came from. It was really just like a collaborative vision that I was just sitting there eating. I used to work as a buyer actually, and I was like, everyone was just there eating, and like, what if we just made these better? Like, why is this not that good? Yeah, and it started with the chews. And then it just turned out that we were able to find a manufacturer. So at the time I was living in Chicago, we found a manufacturer there, and they were willing to work with us. It is like kind of expensive equipment, and a lot of the larger brands really own their own plants. So we were able to find a contract manufacturer that will work with us. And then from there, yeah, it's like, okay, well, we can apply this concept across a lot of different candy SKUs. And then, as I've been operating the business, I just learned a lot about manufacturing and different ways we can apply this, sort of like using real fruit, adding flavor to confectionery products.
Okay, so I totally understand. It's kind of like the analog or the organic version of Starburst. And I understand you obviously can't reference Starburst because that's a brand name, but do you have a sense of, you know, how big the market opportunity is for fruit chews compared to other product formats in this space?
Yeah, so Starburst alone, I mean, I think the most recent data I was looking at was 100 million. So they've sold 100 million in sales for Starburst, but you know, that's across how many different SKUs across a lot of different price points.
Right.
And also
Right.
for the organic market, I mean, I think at least in fruit chews, we're looking at, based off of some of my predictions and the different permutations of the packaging, I mean, we could easily hit 10 million just on this, the chew SKUs. So
Sure. Yeah, and I guess and Tom, you tell me when my time is up, but I'll keep asking questions. So with that being said, you know, you mentioned you're looking for, you know, investment of 500K. What is your longer term growth plan? And really, ultimately, I guess the question comes from, if you're going to be taking outside investment, then you probably need to scale your brand to a certain size. You know, and kind of like, what do you think that larger opportunity for the company is on a revenue basis beyond fruit chews?
Yeah, well, so I guess it depends how many additional products we add and what we can successfully apply the principles of like adding real fruit to, as far as like whether it's confectionery product or not. I mean, overall, I think based off the SKU permutations I've got, the lollipops, and in my model, I think we can easily be at up to 40 million. And that would
Okay.
be with probably
Hmm.
5 or 6 different permutations of the fruit chews, lollipops, another couple different permutations of that, and then maybe 2 or 3 additional SKUs. And then there's also like additional channels I think we can be a lot more profitable in, especially like when you look at D2C, that's like somewhere, or excuse me, direct to consumer through Amazon. We're not really investing a lot in that, and I think we're missing out some opportunity there.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to move it on to Danny Beckett to ask some questions here. So, Danny, if you could give a quick introduction of yourself and any questions you have from Jonathan, that would be greatly appreciated.
Cool. Great to meet everyone. Good job, Jonathan. I did get the product. I love the product. I'll dive a little deeper here in a minute, but I'm the managing partner of Beckett Industries. We are an alternative investment firm. We have 3 investment platforms. We invest real estate, venture capital, and then private equity. I primarily live on the venture side. I've been in venture for 20 years, started as a founder, and then eventually got into the fund side. I started a pre-seed fund. That's actually how I met Tom. In the last couple of years, I've done about 32 investments in pre-seed, primarily in the CPG side. So we got into a lot of really interesting companies and have seen a lot. That's not really my background. Wasn't CPG necessarily. It was e-commerce, and then I was in technology. Was primarily where I was investing, and so I'm still learning a lot of CPG. We've got some really good CPG people on our team, but I'm still learning a lot about CPG. On the venture side, we write typically 500 to a million size checks. We like to come in kind of seed plus, Series A. We'll go up to like Series B. Is kind of where we like to live. And yeah, about 80% of assets under management will be CPG, and then about 20% is opportunistic. So we still will do some B2B software, AI, and business services stuff. So yeah, that's a little bit about us in Beckett Industries. Jonathan, the challenge that I'm having, and I'm just curious, like, how are you kind of overcoming this, or what are you hearing? I don't know how much focus groups you've done or research on this, but the kids are so addicted to sugar that I cannot get my kids. I've tried so many of these different products, and I've got 2 boys, a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old. I cannot get them to adopt these better for you, fruit chew, whether it's fruit chews or we've tried gummy bear. I mean, there's a bunch of different products in this category. I just can't get them to overcome like the sugary candies, and that includes their friends. Like I've had their friends over and everyone trying to get them to fall in love with these better for you, categories. What have you guys heard? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's something in those other products. I don't know that they makes it a little more addictive. I do feel that with a lot of the better for you candies, a lot of the products that I've tasted are the low sugars candies. Like they're really not that good. I mean, the trade off for candy is it better for you by how much versus the flavor? I mean, I think flavor always wins out. So that's why we're not really marketed as a low sugar candy. I mean, I think the flavor in our product is really the winner there. We do have some low sugar formulas that we're working on to that will keep the flavor. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. And I think that's why a lot of these products that are marketed as better for you or whatnot, they're really missing out on the flavor. Like they're doing stevia or something, which people that are used to eating Starburst or what have you, they're not going to really transition over to a product that doesn't taste as good as what they're used to and is also more expensive. So for me, when I was designing the product, I felt like flavor was the number one thing. We can work with low sugar or other stuff later, but people aren't going to switch from cheaper, what they think is a better tasting product to an organic product that doesn't taste as good. So I mean, at least for me, I felt like flavor in our product is way better than most of the other sort of better for you snacks. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, the one company we got pretty serious and down the road was with Behave. And again, it's a good product. I mean, she did a really good job. She's got good people around her. But again, I just couldn't get any of the kids to adopt it. So I struggled with hey, if I can't get any of these kids to fall in love with it and make it sticky, what's the market for this? Sure, you might have a smaller market, that are willing to eat anything, right? Some kids will eat anything, kind of thing. But I just struggle with how big can this really be if it's only a smaller service available market within kind of that larger market, because I do think it still is, kids. I mean, parents, I only way I eat candy really is if it's the kids' candy, right? And it's in the candy drawer. I'm not specifically going out. At least this isn't what I see within more adults. They're not going out necessarily unless it's a candy bar, but that in itself too is not better for you. I'm just I need something indulgent, quick. I need a snack kind of thing, but I'm not going out necessarily and going to the store and buying them. So anyway, that's just the challenge that I definitely believe in the category, and I think it needs to happen, but I just struggle with kind of how that. Now your packs, I think the packs are interesting. That came up a bunch of times, so I love seeing that in your deck.
All right, I'm going to interrupt here, Danny.
I think that, yeah.
I'm going to have to interrupt. I mean, we're out of time here for Jonathan. So, Jonathan, we're going to return you to the audience, and then we'll be allowing 2 or 3 minutes for our investors to finish scoring. And in the meantime, Jeff, perhaps you would like to say a few words about working with Jonathan. Are you there, please? Jeff?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, there you go. If you could say a few words about Jonathan,
Yeah,
please.
sorry, I had to mute. Yeah, I said that if I showed you what was in my desk drawer, you'd probably laugh me off the stage here with my worms or whatever I have in here. So I haven't found that either, Danny. But I do think that that his product is a really good tasting product. And we got it into Jimbo's fairly recently, and they just loved it in there. So there was a lot of interest in it. But one of the things with Jonathan that I love is, he's when the brand gets to scaling, I mean, he's designed for that. I mean, he works at NetSuite today, so he's got that strong background. He's worked in operations at a brand before, so he's got a really good background of kind of in the weeds type stuff and infrastructure type stuff. So, and on top of that, he's also got a lot of roots in Cleveland. So us Cleveland guys, Tom, have to stick together a little bit. Now we can't hear you.
Now I'm going to let our judges finish up scoring here. Just kind of watching everything happen. And I think we're about ready to go. Okay. So with that, I'm going to bring up our next contestant, and I am going to turn it over to Susan to introduce who's next as soon as they arrive on the scene.
All right. Next is Deborah Dorkin, founder of Dr. Mushroom Tea, crafted artisanal teas featuring all the benefits of reishi, lion's mane, and chaga mushrooms. Take it away, Deborah.
Hi, Deborah. If you can turn on your audio and your video. Can you hear us? Deb, can you hear us? Okay, I don't know what's going on
Yeah,
here.
I know she's got somebody, an IT person with her, so it's surprising. Hmm.
There you are. Okay,
There.
can you hear us, Deborah?
Yes, I can.
All
Hello.
right.
Okay.
Please bring your screen up
Okay.
and we will get going. You're
Can
on the
you all
clock.
see my screen?
Not yet. Not yet.
Slideshow.
Us older people definitely need younger people helping us with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're trying.
Deborah, would you like us to share your screen?
If it'll take one
Jen-
more second, if I can't, then yes, please. Yes, please. Can you
Jenna,
please?
can you bring it up, please?
So we have a PowerPoint that we're trying to show on the screen.
I'm bringing it up right now.
Oh, she can bring it
Right.
up.
Just let Jenna know when you need to move to the next screen, okay?
Okay, sure. Thank you.
All right. You'll have 7 minutes, and I will try not to too rudely interrupt you.
Okay. Hello, my name is Deborah Dworkin, and I'm excited to tell you about Dr. Mushroom Teas, a better-for-you beverage with mushroom benefits. Next. I began in 2016 after discovering lion's mane at the Salt Lake City Farmers Market and started growing gourmet mushrooms at my ranch. My curiosity on the subject of sustainability provoked me to brew the spent mushrooms, creating a tea. Next. So these are the main benefits of mushrooms that answer today's modern day wellness concerns: energy, resilience, sense of calm, immunity, and mental clarity. Food is thy medicine, but how many mushrooms or supplements can one digest? Next, please. We happily introduce Dr. Mushroom Teas. What I started as a hobby is now a business, selling in Colorado, Utah, and at Lucky's in the market in Park City, plus convenience stores and coffee shops. Next, please. What makes us stand out? We have a generous amount of mushrooms, no added sugars, and we are the first and only non-carbonated RTD mushroom tea in the market. Next, please. Our competitive, okay. We have 3 types of mushrooms, 3 types of distinct benefits with 3 delicious flavors, all or each one with a different benefit. One is with immune support and energy. Lion's mane is with focus, and the reishi SKU currently is for relaxation. Next, please. Our target consumer is aged 30 to 65. The lifestyle is busy, focused on well-being, and eco-minded. The values are for natural ingredients, mindful choices, and functional wellness. Next, please. Dr. Mushroom teas bring a fresh edge to the shelf with organic mushrooms, powerful adaptogens, and zero sugar, where function meets flavor. Organic mushrooms, check. Zero added sugar, check. Natural sweeteners, check. Women owned, check. And our retail price is competitive. And when you look at our price per ounce, it is competitive as well. Next, please. Our part-time team that I can lean on and leverage on is passionate about Dr. Mushroom and our mission. Next. Dr. Mushroom has potential for growth because we fit into all of these growing categories: non-alcoholic, functional and nutritional, adaptogenic drinks, adaptogenic gummies, adaptogenic mushroom ingredients. Next, please. Our initial marketing plan, sporing, or we have 4 mushroom caps. One is social and digital. We have trade and shoppers, which we are focusing on now, events and partnerships, public relationships. And I'm very excited to tell you about our recent interview with PBS, which will be aired in April. Next. This chart shows the areas we expect to grow in. By 2030, we expect a growth of 60-20-20. The largest part of it is within retail. Next, please. We are close to 100K in gross revenue this year with margin of 53%. We will be profitable when our revenue will be 10 million, which according to this chart, you can see is in 2028. Next, please. So the demand for functional beverages is on the rise as consumers seek healthier alternatives to traditional drinks. And it is, as I showed you, a growing market. It aligns with natural and organic products. The preferences for clear label, free from artificial additives are prevalent in our society right now. We are non-plastic, so we are very eco-friendly. There's a ton of innovation. I mean, it's endless. In fact, we're not working on it yet, but it's in the future to do shots and some mushroom soups. There's a lot you can do with mushrooms. And there's a global trend, which is sipping tea and especially herbal teas. And there's a big opportunity for expansion. Next, please. Like mushrooms, we're just getting started, growing, thriving, and spreading goodness. Thank you for taking the time to learn about Dr. Mushroom Teas. Together, let's celebrate the magic of mushrooms and our mission to inspire wellness in every sip.
All right. Thank you, Deborah. We really appreciate that. So with that, we're going to move to the questioning, and I'm going to ask Daniel to start it off here. And I believe Daniel has a interesting connection to Jeff too, just like Gigi. So I will let Daniel give himself a few minutes to introduce
Not a
himself,
very good one
and
from
then
my
we'll go.
perspective.
And then
Oh,
we'll
it's
go
not a
there.
bad one, Jeff. Come on. I went to high school with Jeff's son. Anyways, I will give my intro while I enjoy Dr. Mushroom right here. Yeah, I run a fund called Habitat Partners. We have $35 million fund one. We were spun out of a creative agency called Red Antler. We invest both in CPG and software. We have about 17 portfolio companies in the CPG space and about 25 in software. I also run a newsletter called Term Sheet Pitfalls alongside a law firm. We post each week on different term sheet venture capital topics for founders to help them with fundraising. So a good compliment to Brandjectory and the Accelerator that Jeff runs. Yeah, I think this is a really cool concept. I once invested in my first VC job in a company called Mudwater that has built a really cool mushroom platform. Love that product. I think Mudwater was very adamant about telling an anti-caffeine story and that, the US population is over-caffeinating and this is this incredible kind of alternative that was like anti-caffeine. And so I guess just to ask a really simple question, I'm curious what you believe like the biggest kind of consumer problem is that you're solving. Obviously, it seems like you're really passionate about mushrooms, but is it more that there's something wrong with the tea industry where we need a mushroom tea? And so just very simply curious what you feel like the kind of the biggest value prop is for this product and what's kind of the big problem that like makes us need a product as such.
The biggest problem, in my humble opinion, is Coca-Cola and Mountain Dew.
There you go.
And I just, yeah, I mean, if I'd see a consumer drink mud water and then go to Dr. Mushroom, I wouldn't be able to see it. But so far, in the limited amount of time that I've been selling, I see our biggest consumer or customer is actually your everyday person that is really seriously seeking a better for you beverage. So it's not necessarily within the tea. They just want something better. So if your habit is to drink, let's say, an energy drink that has a lot of caffeine in it, or you drink Mountain Dew or Coke that has a lot of sugar in it, and some caffeine in it too, then you're just like at a certain point in your life, you just want to, how do you say, break the habit. And how are you going to break it? You have to find something, an alternative. So it has to taste better, or it has to taste good. It has to be, you have to be able to enjoy it. It has to be pleasurable. And then you say, wow, this is so delicious. Why should I drink that bad stuff when I can drink this that is so tasty? And also, I'm a regular person. Why can't I be with the rest of society that wants to be healthier?
Love it. Great answer. Should I keep going or should we hand it to the next person? Either way.
Keep going, Daniel.
Yeah, and then I guess just on kind of the formulation piece, how did you kind of formulate, and like obviously, the mushroom is kind of the hero better for you product. But it seems like you have some really unique flavors. I love this hibiscus flavor, and I also tried the lemongrass. I'm just curious how you landed on such unique flavor profiles.
I'm so happy you're asking me that, because, the formulating part is the most exciting part for me of the whole brand. That's just my playground. So I started by taking spent mushrooms, cooking them, the longer you cook the mushroom, the more you extract from it. So I would cook it like for hours. My whole house smelled of mushrooms. Because you're mentioning the hibiscus, that is actually the first one that I formulated. My kids' nanny that is still living with us. Our kids are in their late 20s, but she's still with us. And she in the winter would make a hibiscus tea with cinnamon. And we always loved it. So that was just my inspiration. I said, wow, this is so delicious. Why not just add mushrooms to it and see how it works? Once I kind of figured out, then I really love ginger. Then we did the lion's mane, and there was a lot of thought put into the formulation, because ginger is good for your digestion, and lion's mane is good for your brain. So I was thinking, wow, wake up in the morning And, you need to be more clear. So lion's mane makes you clear, right? And ginger is, I'm sure you tasted it. It kind of gives you a little bit of a pow. So there was a lot of thought about how the herbs and how the mushrooms work in synchronicity. The reishi down when I was getting more into, when I changed this from hobby to business, then I found a real formulator. We've gone through a number of changes. We started actually one with chocolate and reishi, because reishi is bitter. Bitter goes with bitter. So we had a chocolate reishi one, and then we did a whole different change, found a different formulator. And we were formulating actually using honey. And just recently we were looking, the biggest problem was lowering the COGS. So one way to lower COGS was to find an alternative to honey, which is now grape juice.
Cool.
And that's how we sweeten, which I think is brilliant.
Love it. Thank you. Product is great. Enjoying it.
All right. Thank you, Daniel. I'm going to go for the last couple minutes here to Jamal Trotman and ask Jamal to introduce himself for 30 seconds and any questions that he has for Deborah. Jamal, if you could unmute yourself, we'd love to hear from you.
Hey, Tom, thank you for the invite as well. Deborah, nice to meet you, and thank you all for being here today. My name is Jamal Trotman. I'm one of the co-founders and partners at Radix Innovation Capital. We're an early-stage venture impact fund that supports women, BIPOC founders, and founders with disability. We have an industry-agnostic approach. The only thing that we don't look at is deep tech. In terms of my background, started my background in real estate development, did relatively well in that, and became an angel investor over the last 6 years. Allocated into over 30 companies, and for the last 3 years I've been a partner here at Radix. This is a relatively new space to me in terms of the mushroom space, but it's growing quite large. By 2030 it's expected to be about a $6 billion space. But I did have 3 questions for you regarding supply chain, market differentiation, and consumer education. So in terms of supply chain, how does Dr. Mushroom ensures a reliable and sustainable supply chain?
Great question. Well, currently I mean, as far as when we grow, that's going to be probably different, because that's part of scaling is a big problem of supply chain, because now that the supply chain is still small, we're working locally, where our mushrooms are all supplied by another woman's owned farm, a mushroom farm. She has a brand called Sun Wellness. So she makes extracts, she grows their own mushrooms, and they're all organic. And I live in Utah, and her farm is in Utah. So I think that's like great synchronicity. We're bringing our canning closer and closer to Utah. So we're trying to do everything locally. I'm not 100% there yet. Then we switched from originally we were in glass bottles, and that's a problem also with the supply chain and sustainability, because when you transport, it's more pricey. That's why we shifted to using cans. We're also going to change the way we have a beautiful print on the can. And just recently I learned actually from Jeff that there are more profitable ways to put the label on the can, almost to like paint the label on the can. So that's about the supply chain.
Okay, Deborah, we're going to have to interrupt there.
Okay.
We're up for our time for questioning. We thank you very much. We'll be back to Jamal later with one of the other brands. And with that, the investors will go ahead and do their scoring, and I'm going to ask Jeff to say a couple words about working with Deborah.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, Danielle, it's great to see you again. And if I had thought about it, I probably would have had a rule that if I'm ever pitching for investment dollars, one of my son's friends, it's probably time for me to pack it in a little bit. But Danielle's been great, and thanks for your help with that fundraising webinar a while back. Debbie comes from a family of big time entrepreneurs, and she's the only one that wasn't the entrepreneur in the family. So this has been her foray to get into entrepreneurship and really learn it. And, you know, she kind of jumped right in with really no knowledge, and she's really come an amazingly long way in a short period of time. She also is with a product that probably has about as many tailwinds as you could get right now in mushrooms and adaptogens. And, you know, people, they really are having their moment today in the sun. And I think she's got a great product. You can tell that she's very thoughtfully created her business. She's very thoughtfully, you know, created the formulas. She is very much into sustainability and local. So I feel like she's, you know, really got a well-rounded kind of natural package in terms of what she's offering, and done a really nice job.
All right. With that, we thank Deborah and Jeff. Thank you for those words, and Jamal and Daniel for their questions. We're going to move on to our next panelist, who I will bring up, and then Susan's going to introduce them and tell you a little bit about their product. So I think Lily is rejoining us. Susan, if you could.
Sure. Now we have Lily Shapiro of Atika. Atika approaches skincare and health with a powdered drink supplement specifically designed to boost skin health from the cellular level, reducing all the impacts of aging and sun. Take it away, Lily.
Thank you. All right, I had to request to share screen. Bear with me 1 second.
You can share it. We'll set your timer and you'll be ready to go.
Give me just 1 second, please. Okay, you should be able to see my screen.
Yes, we can. So please, please begin.
All right, timer. Hi, everyone. So I am going to start with a question. How many of us struggle with remembering to reapply sunblock? Or how many of us have chased our kids around the house, fighting their flailing limbs and wrestling their facial expressions to apply cream on them, right? So this is my daily reality living in San Diego, and I created Atika in part to address this problem. So a bit of background on who I am. I'm a trained pharmacist, and I have my MBA from Wharton. I've actually been on Wall Street for the last decade and a half, and I began my finance career in investment banking in the consumer group at Deutsche Bank. And we moved to San Diego from New York, and schools here have lunch and recess outside. So I put sunblock sticks in every backpack and pocket for my kids, but of course they forget to reapply and they come home with red cheeks. And what really worries me is the cumulative incidental sun exposure. So it's those small clips of exposure that add up over time. Like when you take a quick walk around the block with your dog, or when you sit in the car by a window, even on a cloudy day, or play 15 minutes in the shade at recess. So you don't think about sunscreen for those moments necessarily, but they still expose your skin to UV rays. And over time, these small moments add up, increasing the risk of skin cancer and premature aging later in life. And kids are even more vulnerable because their skin has less melanin and a thinner outer layer. So that's problem number one. Problem number two, how do you know which supplement brands to trust? How do you get through the sea of marketing hype, anti-aging, bioavailable, all natural? What do these words actually mean? They describe arsenic too, right? So what about dosing? You can't possibly fit therapeutic levels of 75 or 92 ingredients into a single little scoop. And which products are tested for contaminants? AG1, for instance, is full of lead. And if I struggle to figure all of this out with a PharmD, how can the average consumer decide whom to trust for themselves and their families? So After I got through the literature and all of the noise, I found myself taking 2 handfuls of pills every day that I was literally gagging on. And it turns out that I'm not alone in this. Supplement adherence rates are low, and 40%, less than half, of people can't tolerate pills. So Atika is very much a passion project for me. I built it for myself and for people like me, people who want supplements that actually work, that are backed by real science, are dosed correctly, and are easy to stick with long term. So we're launching products with products that are focused on skincare from within. It's a category known as nutri-cosmetics. So collagen would be in this category. And you can think of it like nourishing the roots of a tree instead of just watering the bark. So it's an emerging space, but it's growing at a healthy CAGR. There are 3 debut products. Advanced Skin Nutrition has 18 active ingredients, and it's the only truly comprehensive blend on the market to target every pillar of skin health at clinically relevant doses. So hydration, elasticity, hyperpigmentation, wrinkles, collagen, antioxidants, anti-inflammatory, and a blend of ingredients to provide UV protection from within. So 1 scoop of powder in water once a day, easy. Now, 12 of these 18 ingredients have clinical data on UV protection and photoaging. So I broke them out and I dosed them appropriately for kids in Sunny Pops and for adults in Light Shield. And this blend provides a base layer of UV protection for incidental sun exposure. But it also serves as a safety net when you're in direct sun for extended periods and may not reapply often enough, like when you're in the water surfing or playing golf or tennis. So we're going to launch with the kids product first. This internal sunblock for kids is a brand new category. No product like this currently exists for children. So we will then extend the formula to adults, but of course dosed appropriately for the larger body. And the third product will be the comprehensive skin supplement targeting women. Pricing. So the products will be available on our site via subscription model. The Kids Sunny Pops will be $36 per month and Light Shield for adults $55. So the photo of my hand on the slide is holding 18 pills, and it shows what 1 scoop of the Advanced Skin Nutrition contains. So several of these ingredients are branded because of either quality consistency or proper molecular weight that generics may not offer. So it is a premium product, and pricing is going to reflect that. Buying all of the ingredients separately costs just under $350. My subscription is $144 per month and drops if you commit to a length of time. So it is a high-priced product, but it's a value play as well. And we're targeting at least 80% margin on our products, which is in line with the supplements industry. So this slide, don't love showing off my age, but this is a Vizia scan of my face that shows that the age of my skin is 9 years younger than my biological age. And on this slide, we see that my ranking against people my age for wrinkles and brown spots has improved by 9 and 12 points over a span of 1.5 years of aging. So I was able to reverse a decent chunk of my under eye wrinkles by taking the product in its current form for only 5 months. No injections, no lasers, at least not under my eyes. The target customer is the woman who buys products for herself, her children, and her husband. So she's 25 to 60 years old. She cares about wellness and beauty. She may go to boutique Pilates studios. She takes supplements, and she spends money on creams. She may do Botox and laser treatments, and she's curious. She listens to podcasts and she reads. And I know this because I am that consumer. But how do we get her attention? Well, results matter. So we're conducting several clinical trials within the next few months. Once we have that data, we will publish the results and market to dermatologists. Nutrafol did this, and it worked really well for them. We will also look to partner up with a well-respected dermatologist. Peer endorsements, very important, and we plan to leverage moms and women's networks to create meaningful and authentic engagement with the brand. And finally, the team. It's still very early days for me, but I've been blessed to have very experienced people advise me. Jeff, of course, has been an absolute gift to the startup community. Jean is a very experienced formulator who helped me write a white paper about the product. And Priscilla is a partner at Science. It's a VC fund, probably best known for Liquid Death. And I also have several fractional people helping me to build this out. So in summary, Atika is really the future of skincare. It's going to revolutionize how we think about caring for skin and really skin over our entire bodies, not just our faces. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Lily. Really appreciate that. And came in right at 7 minutes, so appreciate that too. And with that, we are going to start our line of questioning. And boy, I just sounded like John Charles Daly there. And now I also realize nobody under the age of 60 understands who John Charles Daly is. So I just aged myself a lot. But we're going to start with Rajaa Grar from Springdale Ventures. So Rajaa, if you could introduce yourself and start your questioning with Lily.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Rajaa Grar. I work with Springdale Ventures as a venture partner, and I've been 20 years in marketing as an operator and 3-time CMO. I've been working the majority of my career in CPG, in consumer packaged goods, in big companies like Coors Light, Starbucks, Kellogg's. And then I moved into the skincare and supplement side for about 7-8 years ago, and I went to work for Amazon as head of category for premium skincare. And then Paula's Choice, where I was credited to have been the architect to have turned around that brand, $100 million brand that exited for $2 billion 2 years after the creative social transformation that I've done on that brand, making it more of a social media darling versus a 24-year-old clinical brand that was not growing as much in 2017 and 2018. And then was also at C4 Energy, where I've taken the company with their energy drink from about $50 million to $200 million in sales and a $600 million double in revenue for the whole company, which resulted in an exit with Dr. Pepper in 2022. And now with Springdale, but I'm also CMO at a supplement company called BioOptimizers for the past 5 months. So I'm really excited to be talking to you, Lily. Congrats on the work. Congrats on the beautiful presentation and the great intention around how you've approached this. It looks and it sounds like a passion project. Very exciting. My first question would be, when I saw the deck and I saw the kids product versus the supplement product that's more around aging and beauty supplement, I was a little bit confused because I was wondering, what are you going to be launching with first and who's the target consumer?
Yeah.
So I was wondering, are you going to have a prioritization? Because you said that the sunscreen supplement for kids was going to be first, and then you'll launch the beauty one. And I would love just to understand what is going to be your timeline around launching the other products and how are you going to be able to market it first?
Sure. Great question. So I initially, the skincare for me is really the genesis of this idea, right? I was sick and tired of taking so many pills. I wanted a powder. I wanted high quality ingredients. And so I started with that. I created that product. That's my baby. But it's a very expensive product. And, I was able to get the COGS down to where they need to be, but it's still a huge outlay of cash. And I'm self-funding for now. So then I thought, I speak to people in the industry and everyone's eyes kind of light up when I talk about the kids' sun protection, right? Because it doesn't exist. So I just thought to launch with that would be an easier lift, right? It would be a smaller cash outlay. It would be a completely new product, a product that at least every mom I know would be happy to give to her children. A secondary kind of benefit of that product is there is several ingredients that help to protect eyes from blue light from screens, and that's so topical as well, right? So it's really a very unique product. I think there's a huge need for it, and I just thought it would be an easier launch, and marketing for it would be easier too, right? You advertise to moms, but also it could go viral on TikTok. It's just that product. whereas the women's, skin product is just a higher price point. So it's just a different approach, right? I want to take a more clinical approach to it. I want to complete the clinical trials. I want to really start going to dermatology conferences, talking to doctors about it so they can recommend it to their patients, right? To give it that layer of credibility. And that just takes more time. And I really just want to launch before the summer and get the product out there and get it into mom's hands.
I love that. The science, there, as far as I know, in terms having worked in skincare that was science backed and having a background in science as well with my studies, is there any scientific study that's came out around sunscreen protection for kids through ingestibles? Because I'm not aware.
No, there isn't. And in fact, those studies, you can't even do them in the US because they're considered pharma. So I'm working with a clinical lab in France, actually, to do this study for me. And it's going to be
the profile of the product that's going to give the sunscreen protection to kids that's in the supplement.
Sorry, can you?
What's the profile, the formulation profile, the ingredients that are gonna give the benefit of sun protection for kids?
So it's 12 different ingredients, and each one has clinical data on sun protection. And so I'm combining them, and I'm, I will conduct a clinical trial on the final formulation, but each ingredient does have pretty solid data.
Got it. Because what's in my humble opinion, in terms of what you're trying to do, I agree. In terms of prioritization, launching the kids one has a little bit less barrier to entry, less saturation of the market, less competitors. But also, it's a very new form of sunscreen protection that currently is not part of consumer behavior. People. Right. I'm a mom myself with 9-year-old twins in a few weeks, and I, like you, obsess over sun protection. I live in Texas, and but I can just tell you, like, I wouldn't think of ingestible to give the same sun protection than a topical, because that's currently what people know as the safest, surest way to make sure that their kids' skin is protected versus ingestible. So that also is I wanted just to bring that up. Did you think about how are you gonna be able to, turn around consumer perception and maybe even shape consumer behavior when you're the first one to launch?
Yeah, so that's both a blessing and a curse, right? Because there's going to have to be a lot of education around it. And I want to make one thing clear. I give this blend to my children every morning, but I don't use it instead of the topicals. It's in addition to, because the topicals, they're good for 1 hour, right, at most. So if you're not reapplying, if you're in Texas, I'm in Southern California, you send the kids to school, they do spend clips of time outside and they're not reapplying. No 9-year-old is going to remember to reapply. And so, giving these chewables, and they're going to be chewables, right? So super easy for kids to take. It just makes me feel better as a mom when I send them into the world that there is a baseline layer of protection, even if it's not, as good or strong as the topicals.
Love that. Thank you so much.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to Gigi for one more question. We have time for one more. So Gigi,
no. I don't think I can choose one. I just want to say, Lily, I'll ask a question, but maybe I will make a comment and an observation. So I am absolutely your consumer, and I've been seeing a functional doctor for 30 years, and I struggle with the amount of pills. And to your point, there's so many of these, in the last 5 years, this whole supplement space has exploded so much where it's super confusing. I would love to see you do the beauty skin product first, just because I actually think that, yes, it's expensive. So I understand from a self-funding point of view, it might have its challenges, but I think it has a much bigger market opportunity. And then for myself, I would love to see that, because I always sort of, I have friends that are naturopaths, and I'm like, can you just come up with the tincture? If I could find the tincture that does everything, that would be amazing. So that's kind of my comment. And I feel like Rajaa asked most of my questions, and so maybe if you don't mind, I'll just use my time to comment because I have a lot of thoughts on this. Um, I think changing consumer behavior around getting them to think about sunblock from an ingestible standpoint is going to be very, very challenging. And I actually texted my friend, but if he gets back to me, I'll let you know. But there was a company, I think they were European based, that had ingestible sun care. They were like little pellets, and you know actually my friend's fund invested in them, and I believe they closed. So I would just say that just be very mindful about asking people to change too much behavior, because I'll share, like, I started Plum Organics, my original food was frozen, and at the time there were many other brands, and that you know shift in like shopping in the part of the store and convenience and all of those things, fortunately the pouch came along, but it's a really, really hard shift. And when I get the name of the company that, tried this and got decent funding and ultimately didn't make it, I am happy to send that to you. And if they get back to me before we're done here, I can put it in the chat. So
And
those kind of comments.
they were kids focused, the company?
They had both.
They had both, because
Yeah.
there's HelioCare and Sun Powder, and they're doing fairly well, and they're for adults. And HelioCare is about $500,000 a month on Amazon.
Okay, so I'm not familiar, so maybe, maybe my information is wrong. I would also just say, and I think Rajaa commented, I feel like there's too much, like the messaging is too confusing. I feel like you need to choose what you're leading with, and then, kind of like use that as your spearhead. The sun care and the skin care, adults and kids, it's too much.
Okay. All right.
But I love what you're doing.
I'm going to interrupt here, and we're going to thank Lily and Rajaa and Gigi, who both seem very excited about what they heard. So, Lily, thank you so much. I'm going to let Jeff tell us a little bit about his experience in working with Lily. And again, Lily, thank you so much.
Yeah, great. Well, Lily has been great to work with. I think she was on the fence early on about whether to do the boot camp and accelerator, and yeah, we got her on board thanks to one of the other gals, Carolyn. But she's just I've learned a lot from her. She's a really knowledgeable person, as you can imagine, being a pharmacist, working at a hedge fund, having her MBA from Morton, and now being a CPG entrepreneur. It's a pretty wide range of experiences, but she seems to be able to do it, just amazingly, somewhat effortlessly. And she's doing one of the things that I think is amazing, and I've always wanted to do, which is do clinical studies on CPG products. Because if you can do clinical studies, and usually, they're $250,000, and how are you going to position it from a marketing standpoint? But I mean, she's really figured out a way to do it fairly inexpensively. So it's going to have a lot of efficacy, and be a really good study. And I think, with that, that's what brands, I think, need to do a little bit more of in the CPG channel, but it's difficult to do because it's a significant cash item. So I'm, super excited about her product. I had her at my house not too long ago with my wife and my kids and a bunch of other aunts, and the women just love these products, especially the more expensive ones. So, I was kind of torn on which one to go with first too, but it's interesting to get the judge's advice.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeff. We appreciate it. And we are going to thank Lily one more time and move on to our next presenter, who I'm going to bring up to the panel here. And as soon as she arrives, we're going to turn it over to Susan to do the introduction.
All right. Our next pitch will be from Carolyn Hamlet, founder of Oku Conscious Energy. Oku's gummies have natural caffeine, are low in sugar, and offer 4 grams of fiber in every great tasting serving. Take it away, Carolyn.
Great. Everyone see my screen?
Not yet, Carolyn. If you could
Oh, okay.
share it. There you go. I will start the timer, and good luck.
Great. Thank you, everyone. very happy to be here. I'm Carolyn Hamlet, founder and CEO of Oku Conscious Energy Gummy Snacks. What if I told you we're in the middle of an energy crisis? Not just the kind that fuels our homes, but the kind that fuels our lives. As a mom, entrepreneur, and someone who doesn't drink coffee or energy drinks, but has a terrible sweet tooth, unlike a few other people, I felt this problem firsthand. I needed energy to keep up with my demanding days, but every option came with a trade-off. Nothing fit my lifestyle or values, so I had to build one. Oku isn't just another energy product. We're the first conscious energy snack that delivers what consumers actually want, the ability to energize without compromise. What makes us different? We're clean energy without the crash. We use 100% non-GMO ingredients. We provide additional functional and desirable benefits. We're dietary inclusive, being vegan and gluten-free. The gummy format offers customizable dosing. We're GLP-1 friendly. We're delicious, satisfying your sweet tooth, yet a reduced sugar. We're portable and convenient, and we use sustainably sourced packaging and are impact driven. So the bottom line is we offer energy, function, taste, and better for you ingredients all in one. With this profile, Oku is positioned at the nexus of several high growth trends. But beyond that, Oku aligns with the consumer shift towards low glycemic and fiber-rich snacks, fueled by the rising popularity of GLP-1 medications. And when it comes to format, gummies are one of the fastest growing formats in functional snacking, driven by consumer demand for convenience, better for you ingredients, and portion control. With these accelerating market forces, we are perfectly positioned to define the future of energy snacking. At Oku, every ingredient serves a purpose because what's inside matters. To that point, our consciously curated functional blend includes organic green tea and yerba mate to provide clean caffeine for sustained energy without jitters or crashes, goji berries to provide a powerful antioxidant-rich superfood, coconut water to provide electrolytes for hydration, tapioca fiber to support a healthy gut and satiety, and allulose, a next-generation sugar alternative. Unlike traditional sugar, it doesn't spike blood sugar or insulin levels, making it ideal for metabolic health and GLP-1 users. And in each five gummy serving, and there are 2 servings in one package, there are just 70 calories and 60 milligrams of caffeine. Many energy products cut corners on ingredients, but we don't. Oku's crafted for mindful snacking offer a smarter way to energize. There are many ways to get energy out there today, but no single product checks every box like Oku and delivers what consumers want without compromise. So where are we today? We launched on Amazon in December of 2024, and the response there and on our website has been overwhelmingly positive, from non-coffee drinkers to workout enthusiasts to tired parents, busy professionals, and college students, proving that conscious consumers are craving a better energy solution. Excuse me. This followed a very busy and productive period for us during Q2 and Q3 2024, where we completed a formulation update, a brand refresh, setting the stage for growth. This led to the 50,000 unit production run in Q4, made mainly for Amazon with our new contract manufacturer, a key milestone in scaling our supply chain. And just last week, hot off the press at Expo West, Sprouts greenlit us for an innovation launch in almost 50 Southern California stores slated for August of 2025, after an unexpected yet very serendipitous meeting with the president of Sprouts. The buyer was excited about how we are actually defining a new category. Oku's also earning industry recognition. Taste Radio featured us with their Expo West episode just this past Monday. You all have the link in the deck. The second time I've been interviewed by them in 12 months. These early wins validate that we've created something special and now we're ready to scale. To support our growth, we're using a proven go-to-market strategy to maximize impact and profitability that includes ramping up digital and SEO, a heavy emphasis on demos and samplings at community events and with collaborations, social media efforts, particularly TikTok, where we believe we have a great opportunity, as well as influencer partnerships. With significant input from CPG experts, we built a ground-up set of financial projections that reflect a thoughtfully calibrated omnichannel strategy with a clear path to profitability, showing 65% gross margins by 2029. So why am I the right person to do this? I have a history of being a pioneer, first as a computer science major when few women were present, then on Wall Street where women were also scarce at the time, Later, I became president of MP3.com International, the first ever internet music site during the .com era, and went on to being a serial entrepreneur building 3 financial services companies. My expansive global network, built through 20 years in Young Presidents Organization with experience living abroad, gives me unparalleled access to the resources necessary to build a brand from the ground up. But most importantly, Oku is my ikigai, a Japanese concept that means your reason for being. It's the intersection of what you love, what you're great at, what the world needs, and what can be sustainable. And it's no coincidence the word Oku is rooted in Japanese. It reflects energy and tension we all carry within us. That's what this brand is about, and that's why I built it. I have a team of active investors, advisors, and operators, former CEOs of Holiday Inn, Jenny Craig, American Express, and Suzo Juice. And I would be remiss in not calling out Jeff Church for all of his contribution. So with a solid team and clear vision, we're raising $875,000 on a safe to execute this plan. As both Ray Latif from Taste Radio and the buyers Sprouts indicated, we're carving new ground. We have everything in place to bring Oku to the world, enabling more people to energize without compromise. An experienced and passionate team, the trifecta of taste, function, and convenience, an innovative product with even more ideas to follow, the right product at the right time, growing traction with an upcoming Sprouts launch, scalable business model with a clear path of profitability. Oku isn't just another product, it's a category-defining opportunity. Okay, are you ready to join us? Thank you. I'd like to thank my amazing coach, Ryan Greene, and answer any questions.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. All right. And with that, I'm going to ask Jamal to drop back in and start the questioning of Carolyn. So Jamal, if you could join us, that would be
Carolyn,
terrific.
thank you, Tom. Carolyn, absolutely amazing product. Once you pop it in the fridge and try it, it gives you everything you need for the day. The texture is amazing. So thank you for making this possible. So my only question to you is, how does Oku Conscious Energy Gummy stand out in terms of formulation and benefits, right? There's quite a few different products in the market that is doing this, but like what makes you guys stand out?
Well, if you look at the gummy market, Jamal, there really are no gummies out there that are focused on energy. The ones that are focused, that include all the other benefits that we have. The energy gummies, the Honey Stinger, the ProBar Bold, the Cliff Blocks, they're really targeted to athletes, and they're either high in sugar or they certainly don't offer all of the other benefits that we do. And I was looking for something that offered more, with the functional snacks having such a tailwind right now. I only want to eat one thing, and I want something that satisfies my sweet tooth, gives me the energy, gives me fiber, and I can call it a day, and I'm happy. I don't have to look for anything more and dig into a bowl of M&Ms or something that might tempt me if it was sitting next to me.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Jamal, any other questions?
Yeah, I can ask another one.
Oh yeah, keep going. Keep going. It's your time.
In terms of like distribution strategy, right? What channels are you leveraging to distribute Oku products? And how are you addressing the challenges associated with scaling distribution in health and wellness industry?
So given that we just launched on Amazon at the end of the year, honestly, retail was in our mind going to be a little bit further out. But with this very serendipitous meeting last week at Expo West, it just brought it, front and center. And so we're really honored to be able to launch on Sprouts in August. But the other channels that I think are very attractive to us are honestly some of the non-grocery channels that we're looking into. And we've already had conversations with brokers. And that's honestly food service, looking at the companies that are serving the Metas, the Googles, the Netflix. Those are ripe for us. It's almost like a marketing expense, but we've actually created a sample bag that I think we may, that would be ideal for that market, that is a single serving bag. And I was handing those out at Expo West last week. And that kind of thing could be, I think, is ideal for us to look at those. Plus, I think it's hard for a new brand to break in at grocery. When people go to the grocery store, they're on a mission. And the places where I think we can be found, or where people are more browsing, we're even looking at things like Ulta Beauty and other places where people are going to shop and browse and discover, as opposed to just they're on a mission to shop. I mean, we get to grocery, but it's not going to be our first stop. So, Sprouts and the natural channel, alternative options like food service. We're also on Duffel, which is a student-led service around certain college campuses. We just started at USC. Fortunately, I have an amazing 20-year-old son who's there to help. So looking for him to help boost that, and hopefully he's listening. So, but we are looking for alternative channels. We're Southern California, so we want to leverage our geography. There are a lot of successful San Diego brands, and they've done that. And I feel like I've been out a lot over the past couple of years talking about Oku, and we now have the product that's ready to scale. But I think that you have to crawl before you walk, and we don't want to bite off more than we can chew. And honestly, with Jeff, sort of calibrating me, he's the one who will help me best, since I don't have a background in this. Will help me best, along with some other advisors, make sure that we do it in a measured manner.
Great. And I love the fact that you highlighted that you have it on college campuses right now, because I think with all the benefits that you're providing within the product, it's perfect for Gen Zs and the younger generations. So I did a bit of market research. I had people ranging from age 6 all the way to 70 try the product. The 6-year-old, he was just off the wall. It was nighttime, so it probably wasn't the best idea because he was not
Oh
going
my
to sleep.
gosh, I feel for you.
But in terms of like my generations going above, I think again for Gen Zs, I think it's going to be perfect. We're very health conscious. We're like shifting the market, the consumer market. So I think that's great. And then my last question is, given the growing interest in functional foods, what strategy are you implementing to educate consumers about the unique benefits?
We will tackle it all. And obviously this raise is what's going to allow us to put the money into those strategies. But, between TikTok, influencers, email marketing, we'll do it all. Having had a computer science background, my passion is AI. And so I'm looking to figure out the most efficient way to reach as many people as possible at the lowest possible cost. And I may be at the older end of the spectrum, from a founder perspective, but I'm probably more, I'm focusing on maybe more than many of some of the younger people, because it just, to me, has such potential. And I'm very much about efficiency and how can I do this better, faster. So there is education, but people will, some people will take the product for different reasons. I myself take it for different reasons. After lunch, I may be looking for something sweet. I may not need the energy quite yet, but I'm looking for something sweet. And the market will tell us, different people use it. We already have a lot of feedback. The college kids use it, to pregame. The college kids may use it the next morning when they wake up. We have somebody in their 80s who takes it on the 7th hole of the golf course because he can't make it through 18 holes without it. So we're running the gamut and we're learning as we go.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm going to move it along to Daniel Faireman for our last couple of questions here. So Daniel, we have about 3 minutes left, so please.
Yeah, and Caroline, I remember you were the tennis player like me, so it's good to hear from you. No, this is awesome. I loved the product. I think the packaging is so crystal clear. Like, it's the proposition. I didn't really have to think about what it was, which is obviously key, which I think will be great for Sprouts, as obviously it's a competitive shelf. And then I guess I had a question, and I love the fact that you went with 60 milligrams of caffeine per serving. I think like 100 milligrams is like the shot of espresso, which is like pretty strong. And obviously with 60, you're kind of like somewhere in the middle of like 0 and 100. So it's not such a jolt, but it's kind of like a conscious decision that you can kind of make as to how caffeinated you want to get depending on like the time of day versus having to take 100 in one serving as an example. I guess, is that like something you did super logically and like thought through it, or was it kind of like a test and learn, or how did you land on that amount per serving?
So, we call ourselves conscious energy for 3 reasons. One is the blend, one is the packaging, and one is the impact. And, and we think of our caffeine as mindful caffeine, and we wanted to be the opposite of something that jacks you up. We wanted to help. We weren't just we're not targeting the elite athletes. We're targeting all of us to get through our days. And, and that usually doesn't mean that you need to be jacked up or you want to be jacked up.
Yeah.
So it was deliberate. We worked with an amazing formulator who has done some very large brands, and she's become a good friend and almost partner in crime. because she's incredibly talented and has done this many, many times. But it was deliberate because, and also it's, you put too much caffeine and it's hard to mask it. So we wanted something that taste is number one in any product. And given that we sort of cross between the sweet tooth space and the functional space, we had to calibrate that balance to make sure that it would be successful in the market from a taste perspective, function perspective, convenience perspective, all of it.
And it's a cheap ingredient from what I understand, so it's great for gross margin.
Yeah.
All right. That's our time for Carolyn, and we really appreciate the presentation and Daniel and Jamal's questions. So thank you very much. I'm going to allow our investors the time to do the scores. And if Jeff, if you could jump in and tell us a little bit about working with Carolyn during your accelerator.
Yeah, working with Caroline is like getting an MBA myself. Caroline is very detail oriented, and it's pushed me to a more detail orientation of myself, which has been good. Carolyn's very much the person that Malcolm Gladwell talks about when he talks about the connectors. She's connected to a lot of different people and a lot of different groups, and I think that bodes well for her fundraising, but I think it also bodes well for just information sharing and getting. And she's been super helpful to me in DreamMakers and helping bring a few of our clients into the program. But the funny story I have with Caroline is my mother-in-law is from Israel, and she hates waste. And she was up all night one night. We were like, "Why were you up all night?" She said, "I don't know. I just couldn't sleep." And she said, "Well, what'd you eat last night?" "Well, I saw some of these gummies that were left over in the packet, so I ate them just so we wouldn't have any waste." And she was up all night because of it. I said, "Okay, well, at least we know it works."
All right. Jeff, thank you so much. Carolyn, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And with that, we are going to bring up our last contestant, who will join us in a minute here, as soon as I can get them and get them up here and making sure they're joining. And I think they are. So, Susan, if you could go ahead and make the introduction.
Sure. And finally, our last pitch is from the co-founder of TIZZ, Todd Strauss-Schulson. TIZZ is no frills and all the thrills of an all-natural tangerine soda. Bring back all the fun, joy, and fizz with TIZZ. Take it away, Todd.
Thank you, Todd. Todd, are you ready to go? We can't hear you. Got to unmute. All right, there you go. Okay, Todd, excellent. Your presentation is up, so if you could go ahead, I'll interrupt you in 7 minutes. Thank you, Todd.
Great. Maybe 7.5. Hi, my name is Todd Strauss-Schulson. Nice to meet you. This is TIZZ. Welcome to TIZZ. It's a tangerine fizz born in Frogtown, California, where I currently am right now. We put the TIZZ in our Tizinal. Okay, it's an orange soda. Just it's an orange soda. How do I get it? There we go. Okay, what is TIZZ? Let me tell you what TIZZ isn't. TIZZ is not proven to balance your hormones or heal your inner child or reduce fine lines and wrinkles. It's not supposed to bring your spine into alignment or help you focus or boost your microbiome. TIZZ is just a delicious orange soda. It's a tangy, delicious, tart tangerine fizz made with fresh juice, no added chemical garbage by two idiots who've never made a beverage before but loved orange soda as kids and wanted to figure out how to make the best one on the market without giving everybody diabetes. Okay, what's our origin story? Get it? What is this product? How did it begin? Who am I? Okay, this all started a year ago here in Frogtown. I moved into a house. There's a tangerine tree in the backyard. I'm a storyteller. I'm going to tell you a story. In the middle of the winter, this old lady came knocking on my door. There she is in the picture, and she goes screaming, "We got to get all those tangerines off this tree right now. They're delicious and tart and tangy and fresh right now." And I said, "Who are you?" And she said, "I'm your neighbor. I planted that tree 40 years ago. We got to get them all right now." And I said, "Okay." And we picked all these oranges off the trees, tangerines, 400 of them. And I said, "Leticia, the fuck am I going to do with all these tangerines?" And she said, "What we do in the neighborhood, it's a Mexican neighborhood, is you juice the oranges, you freeze the juice, you can have it all year long. It's the most delicious, tangy juice. And we can make ice cream out of it. We add it to tequila. You could even make an orange soda." And something in my mind broke, and I thought, fuck, orange soda. I loved Orangina as a kid. I'd buy a bottle of it every day when I was walking home from school. But when was the last time that you saw an Orangina or had one? They're impossible to find, and they're full of sugar and chemicals, and there's no other good orange sodas on the market. I know this because I tasted them all. So I thought, I bet I could make an orange soda that could be an Orangina killer. Now I'm talking like a true founder. And just like that, TIZZ was born. I spent the winter figuring out how to make orange soda and did a pop-up. I made hats and merch and the whole thing, almost as a joke, kind of as a bit. And I was shocked that we sold out of everything in like an hour. And that led to doing a collaboration with Van Leeuwen Ice Cream. We did ice cream sodas. I did a second pop-up that was 3 times bigger and sold out even faster. And I was like, oh no, I think I'm onto something. What makes TIZZ different? Okay, couple things. First, we're not chasing functional buzzwords, prebiotic, probiotic. What does that mean? We're just focused on making the best, cleanest modern orange soda on the planet. My co-founder Abe and I, who's on this Zoom, we're not from CPG. We're filmmakers. I'm a movie director. I write and direct movies and TV shows. We're entertainers, and we know how to build a brand that sparks conversation and community and is disruptive. Our formulation. Our brand is silly and funny and absurd, but our product is premium and delicious. We think that's actually kind of the best part about it. Our food scientist formulated Gia and watermelon water in kin, so it's actually premium even though it's very ridiculous. And our focus. You know, today's rainbow brands flood the market with dozens of flavors, but none of them are that good. Poppy, Olipop, Culture Pop, Simply Pop, all the pops. They added prebiotics and probiotics, but to me, they taste like dog shit. TIZZ focuses on one iconic flavor. We just want to do orange and do it better than everybody else. Why orange soda? Why now? Well, sharks, legacy sodas are tanking and better free beverages are booming. The global orange soda market is growing fast from 10 billion in 2023 to 15 billion by 2032, but there's almost no innovation in this SKU, and consumer preferences are changing. 67% of soda drinkers prefer natural ingredients, reduced sugar, and real juice options. Good news, kids got that. And 45% of Gen Z and millennials are drawn to retro flavors and nostalgia packaging. Hey, even better, we got that too. That's why TIZZ has a competitive edge. With 33% real juice, 8 grams of sugar only, 60 calories, mostly coming from the juice, and no weird stuff. But TIZZ isn't just another beverage. We're building a cultural moment. It's soda, okay? It's carbonated water and a little bit of flavor. The brand is a big part of what is disruptive and new about this. And the community that helped create TIZZ in the first place on the east side of Los Angeles is a community of comedians and filmmakers and writers and actors. The creative community of LA helped give birth to it. We're going to leverage that community to continue to build the cultural moment. And because of our background in film and TV, we know how to do that. Remember when brands used to be funny, Sunny D and Kool-Aid? They weren't so self-serious like they are now. We want to bring that back. So these are some pictures from our pop-ups. You know, Olivia Wilde shows up, and Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers are wearing the merch on their podcast, and Amy Sedaris is reposting our Van Leeuwen event. So we're kind of in culture, and that feels very exciting. Oh no, the timer, and I'm frozen. Where are we? Here we go. Okay, forget that one. Product specs, clean label, but no prebiotics, probiotics. I think that's kind of pretentious. Our retail support, our recommended retail price is $2.99. We're shelf stable for a year, and we're not cold chain. The team, you know, we bring a completely new approach to building the brand as outsiders and risk takers and storytellers and morons. This is me over here. I've directed, you know, a handful of movies, comedies. I've made a Harold and Kumar movie, romantic comedies, a lot of TV shows. Abe worked at Netflix. Our food scientist formulated Gia Kin watermelon water. Jeff Church, obviously, you all know. And look, we're pre-revenue, okay? So we're our first raise, we're looking to raise some money to do our pilot run and soft launch in Los Angeles. That's where we're at. Ask me questions about these later. I'm conscious of the 7 minutes. But that money, our raise is going to be used to do the soft launch and the pilot run and test this out. We don't want to go fast and break shit. We want to go slow and steady and prove out our velocity here and prove out the brand. So this funding round is going to fuel our first 8,000 cans of TIZZ. We have two SKUs. One is original TIZZ, which is just the delicious tangy tart orange soda. And then we have TIZZ Vanilla Cream, which is kind of the creamsicle based on the Van Leeuwen product. We use birch to make it, so it's actually quite sophisticated and delicious.
All right, Todd, I'm going to interrupt you there because we're
Okay.
at time. Thank you for that. Exciting. And with that, I'm going to ask Danny Beckett to start our questioning. And Danny, being a Midwest guy, probably drank a lot of orange soda growing up. So, Danny, if you could ask any questions, we'd like to start with you.
You can also
Cool.
let Abe in so he can sort of do some of the Q&A with me.
Okay. Well, yeah, Todd, I got the product. I did drink a lot of orange soda as a kid. I actually was one of the first athletes that Monster Energy ever sponsored. I was a professional motocross athlete. So I've been around the beverage space a while, tried and tasted a lot of different things. You know, I definitely appreciate the branding and marketing. I think you can definitely see you're a storyteller, and brand and marketing is huge. You've seen that with Red Bull, you've seen that with Monster, you've seen that with some incredible brands. So I think you definitely bring, you know, that to the table, which is important when you're building a brand. Some of my questions are more around who do you think the kind of the initial target customer is going to be? Can you talk a little bit about that? I know you did some pop-ups and demos, and what were you seeing? Is this like moms buying this, kids? Like, give us a little bit of context around what you've seen so far and kind of what you're thinking as you get ready to do your pilot.
Well, I think we want to start in Southern California. We want to start at some of these higher end groceries and do some, you know, one kind of like great retail partner. We're thinking of this product like like Fishwife. You know, we're not reinventing something, we're refreshing something. Fishwife did it to canned fish, Grazza did it to olive oil, Sir Kensington's did it to condiments. That's us. So we think at first that we can go for kind of, you know, a cool Gen Z millennial sort of crowd here that's interested in healthy, clean label orange soda. But we think that there's promise for this product that, oh, you know, over time, over the years, it's orange soda. You could see parents buying it for their kids. You could see it being, you know, a fun, healthy treat. But we think first it's going to be sort of us, our community, Gen Z, millennial, people that are buying, you know, Gia, Olipop, Fishwife, things like that.
Yeah. Do you think there, you know, again, I'm just giving my background. You think there's like an action sports kind of angle here, kind of what Mountain Dew's done, to kind of reach some of those influential kind of early adopters to something like this?
Look, I love action sports. I would love to do that. You know, we have an idea, you know, a year from now, if we get to do a third SKU to do a TIZZ Energy thing. But yeah, yes, we definitely. We think that we could be in comedy world. We think we could be in sports world. We think, yeah.
So what about
Also,
manufacturing?
vodka and tequila, you know, we think we can, we're not a mixer at all, but we can imagine if you're in college, if you're, you know, if you're at a party that you bring a 4 or 6 pack of this and you have a tequila TIZZ, a gin TIZZ, there's a million puns, you know.
So are you guys using for production, are you guys using a co-packer in Southern California for this?
I'll let Abe jump in on that one because you should meet Abe.
Sure. Hey, everybody. Great job, Todd. Hilarious. Our pilot run is actually, we're working with a co-packer in actually upstate New York. For our pilot run, we had a couple specifications on our product. Like, we're doing a pretty high carbonation level because we both, and a lot of our friends and doing tests, we love sodas with a really nice pop in the carbonation. And we are working with the beloved stubby can, the 8-ounce stubby can, which has sort of disappeared from a lot of shelves. Blue Bottle Coffee still makes it, and a couple other different beverages, but they're pretty niche. We love that design for the TIZZ can. So finding someone that could do our high carbonation levels, do a low MOQ, use the stubbies. We were kind of limited in our choices, but our formulator has worked with Ninth Planet in Saratoga Springs a couple times. We have a good working relationship with them. So they're going to do our pilot run, and then we're going to kind of grow from there. And kind of once we kind of get this product out there, once we start to look at our margins, our costs, we can talk to some of the bigger shops out there who could help us along the way.
What are your what are you thinking? What are your cogs going to be for
I
this
mean,
initial kind of run?
So it's sort of tough to say because we're doing a pilot run and like all of our prices are just going to be much higher than they are going to be down the road. I mean, I think that at this point, the kind of numbers that I'm looking at, we want to sell for 2.99. I think we're going to be able maybe hopefully make each can for like $1.85, $1.90 on this first run, which is not great. We're going to try to improve these margins as we go along down the road, but that's kind of where we're at early stage.
So you guys are raising very little amount of money, so when you're thinking initial go to market and channel strategy, with your guys' background, why don't you really zoom in on like YouTube and like TikTok, take it more like a Prime approach or like a Feastables approach, something
So
like that.
So I think you're right. Part of our strategy is we want to launch hyperlocal. We want to focus on Southern California, LA, more specifically East LA, and just kind of have people really know what it is. It's going to be a small pilot run, but to your point, we have leaned into the kind of entertainment side of things. Before our Van Leeuwen event at the end of last summer, Todd worked with this animator, and we made this beautiful, hilarious animation. It's on our Instagram right now, and we launched that to kind of promote the event, and overnight that got 80,000 views. It was reshared by a lot of people, so we were like, okay, we can kind of get the word out. So yes, to your point, we do plan on doing that. So when we do this pilot run and we're selling a little bit of D2C on Amazon, our own website, and some of these local markets, we want to, and we're planning to do some fun videos, some fun promotional things, kind of use Todd's genius as an artist and a filmmaker and a, storyteller to get the word out that way.
Yeah, I think you guys can be very successful and really being super capital efficient, right? Get adoption, leverage that, influence that you guys have, relationships, and launch through, all of those kind of social channels before you try to mess with retail or anything like that. Because the amount of capital and stuff would be overwhelming for what. So I think
Yeah.
that's really your biggest opportunity.
That's the plan. We want to kind of start small, use what we're good at. Our background as entertainment people, as a filmmaker, and as a Netflix exec and producer myself, and have the kind of those partnerships be a little bit more organic. Like Bowen and Matt, two dear friends of mine, wearing TIZZ stuff on their podcast that gets 1 million kind of listeners a month. That's so organic, and we're friends with them. They love TIZZ instead of having kind of an influencer pushing something like Alex Earl pushing Sip Margs. Like clearly she's getting paid, she's getting an equity piece. It doesn't feel as natural as like our friends really pushing TIZZ because they love it and they love the spirit of it.
All right,
Yeah, I
I'm
have
going
two
to jump in and ask Rajaa to take us home with a couple of quote. We have
All
probably
right.
time
Thanks,
for one more
Danny.
question. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah.
Thank you, Abe.
Sure.
Rajaa, if you could unmute yourself if you got any questions, we'd love to hear one more time from the TIZZ folks.
Yeah, I mean, I love a great brand, and especially a brand with a personality that I feel very ownable and can definitely break through in the current beverage market. And it's almost like energy too, but I know you're thinking about it down the line. Todd, you had said, why not have a functional benefit to this product versus just a straight up orange tangerine soda? And the reason why I'm asking, because you talked your customer or the ideal customer would be the Olipop, the Poppy, and we just heard the news of Poppy today exiting for, I don't know, 1.5 billion to Pepsi. I mean, there's clear, it's the functional benefit was a huge piece, not the taste, right? And so why not consider that for your product versus a straight up soda?
Todd, you want me to take this?
We can both take it. I mean, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I think that we obviously talked about it. A lot of people have brought that up. And like, I drink an Olipop and a Poppy from time to time. I just think, and we sort of thought, the pendulum has swung so far into functional sodas, and there are so many products out there really flooding the market. If we were going to launch just another functional kind of soda TIZZ and maybe sacrifice some things on the flavor side, that just like wasn't something we thought would work and something that wasn't attractive and fun to us. We just wanted to go the other way because the pendulum will swing back, and people are always going to want to drink soda, and better for you. That's kind of a much broader kind of umbrella to be under. And we just want it to be a down the middle soda, better for you, taste great, and a really fun brand. You know, we really like Orangina is kind of our, you know, we want to be an Orangina killer. They're kind of our gold star. They're just a down the middle soda, very delicious, very sugary. We all probably have great memories of it, but we want to make the updated version. Go ahead, Ted.
I think that our sugar count is under 10 grams and we're using 33% real juice. That makes it feel clean and new. But I think for me and the people in my world, when they see the word probiotic now, it seems like bullshit. It seems like it's marketing. It's too many of them. No one likes stevia. They want real ingredients. So I think we're there. We feel like we can be a magnet for those kinds of people.
All right, we are out of time. I thank you,
Boy, Tom
Rajaa.
is really on the stopwatch. We could talk.
I keep a tape watch on this. We promised everybody to be done at the top of the hour here, so we're working on it. So with that, we're going to return Todd and Abe to the audience. Jenna can do that. Jeff, if you could tell us a little bit about working with these guys. And did Jeff just disappear on us? Okay, there he is. Jeff, if you could tell us a little bit about working with these guys, and then we'll move along.
We've gotten to know Todd and Abe pretty well because we had a very interesting process where we went through a formulation. So we worked very close with each other for a couple of months together, so I got to know them very well. I love their, you know, liquid death-ish kind of approach where, you know, it's off the wall that, you know, I thought liquid death was a stupid idea. Well, that's how stupid I am. But I think sometimes these off the wall, you know, ideas, you know, that run contrarian and run counter to what is out there. Sometimes they get legs of their own. And then people are like, oh, geez, that's so stupid. I should have thought of that. But I think that, you know, it fits their personalities, very eclectic, you know, very, you know, somewhat carefree in a sense, and just really, you know, very well networked though. So I think if tapping into celebrities is always very difficult, as we all know. But if you can tap into that in an organic way, that could be really demonstrative and helpful for them, you know, with TIZZ. So I'm a supporter, and it tastes great.
And with that, I'm going to remind Rajaa to finish scoring, and if she could do that. And Jenna, I thank you, Jeff, for that. We'll announce our winner in just a second. I want to say that Todd and I hit it off because we're both old movie fans, him being a director and me having grown up watching all the 30s and 40s and 50s movies. So we didn't talk a lot about TIZZ. We ended up talking a lot about old movies. But with that, Jenna, if you could move us along to the next screen. All right, there we go. All right. We did a part of Brandjectory. We always want to have brands really well prepared. It's part of our structure that brands get to work directly with individual investors. And we had a great group of coaches. I can't thank these folks enough. Everybody here probably knows them. Jamie Borteck, Rob Rafferty, Brian Folmer, Ryan Greene, Paul Beaupre, all these folks really, really work with us on a regular basis, and we really do appreciate them taking the time to work with the brands that you heard today. Now, Jenna, if you would pop up our poll, we'd like the audience, those that are still with us. We have a nice crowd. If they could pick their favorite pitch. All right, let's get this out there just to get everybody's opinion. Well, we got a pretty just to say we have three of the folks all did pretty well in the in terms of the audience that enjoyed the pitches of Atika, Oku, and TIZZ. So those were the pitches that seemed to have resonated. So with that, I'm going to bring up our winner.
All right. Sorry, my sound won't share probably. I did have a drum roll in here. But I would like to announce our winner. I might have just shown the screen, so sorry. As Carolyn from Oku.
Hey, Carolyn, thank you so much. You want to say something?
I just want to thank between Jeff and Ryan Greene, my coach, they have been, I couldn't even express the gratitude I have for all the effort they have had put into me. So I just want to say thank you. I could not be more passionate to build this brand, and hope that some of you will want to join along with me to do this. So thank you. And thank you to Tom and Susan, Jenna, and of course, Jeff.
And Carolyn's been a Brandjectory member for a while now, so we appreciate.
have.
Hopefully, this is a sign that we've been able to help too. So with that, I want to be able to thank everybody that's been involved. Jenna, could you put up our last screen just to start? Certainly want to thank Jenna and Susan for always being part of what we do at Brandjectory, and Jeff for allowing us to participate. The folks at the brand, Spark, Dr. Mushroom, Atika, Oku, and TIZZ, and our investors today, Daniel Faireman, Danny Beckett, Jamal Trotman, Rajaa, Grar, and Gigi Chang. And of course, the coaches we just thanked, Jamie Borteck, Rob Rafferty, Brian Folmer, Ryan Greene, Paul Beaupre. If you want to talk to us at Brandjectory, it's tom@brandjectory.com. If you want to talk to Jeff, it's jeff@teamchurch.co. We thank you for being here. We'll make a recording of this. It'll go out to everyone who registered for the event, and it'll be on the Brandjectory website. And again, if you have any questions or want to connect with anybody that you saw online here, we're happy to try to make those connections work. So again, to our investor partners, thank you. To our those who presented, thank you so much. And to Jeff, thanks for letting us be part of these two great pitch slams. Jeff, anything that you would like to say?
Oh, just great big thank you to the judges and the coaches and everyone listening in the brands. Thanks a lot.
Okay, and Susan, anything you want to close off with?
Just thank you everyone for being here, and congrats to the winner.
All right, folks, we thank you so much, and we appreciate your time today, and we're right on time. Good luck, Carolyn.
You're nice.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Brandjectory.
Have a good one, everyone.